Hi all, I'm Hummy, and this video in the series of videos on the forum and learning how to navigate the forum is going to focus on this settings link. Now I utilize vBulletin software for my forum. The settings link is for the newer versions of the forum. You may be in some other forums, and this may be the old version which says user CP, but they are both the same. So let's go ahead and click on that link, and you're going to see the first area that we come to is the private message area. Now I have one unread message here, and I could click right there and read it. Most people that are new to forums are very confused when somebody says just PM me. That it almost sounds like something dirty. Just PM me, and they don't know what it means. But PM is of course for private message, and that's where we're going to be able to read these private messages. Up here you're going to see notifications. If I click on that, I'm going to see one unread private message. So I could click on that, and it's going to open up this message here also. If I want to see all of my private messages, including the ones I've already read and the ones I haven't read, I could click right here on the inbox. I'm not going to click on it because, well, these are private messages. I could click on this sent folder, and that's going to show me all those messages I've sent to other people. Now there are some settings in the forum that do limit the amount of messages you can have in total in your private message area. And so if you ever try to send a message and it says your mailbox is full, you're going to need to go in here and delete some of these messages. These next three I have are, you get a sneak peek into my private area, are some custom folders that I've made. And to make custom folders, you can do that under this Edit Folders link. Now let's say you want to send somebody a message, a private message. You can click on this button right here, and you can just begin typing. It has to be their forum ID. And you're going to see it's going to come up with some suggestions, and you can just click on the person you want to write, type in a title, type in your stuff that you want to tell them, and hit submit. Now there are some other ways to bring up this, because sometimes you can't remember their username. And so if you go to any thread in the forum, we just are in the acknowledgement thread here, and let's say I want to send Dawn a private message. I can click right here on her name, and it brings this drop down box, and you're going to see here it says private message. So if I click on that, it's going to bring up that private message compose box, just as we did with the other link. There are also some other things here you might want to know. You can view their profile, which is going to be covered in another video. You can add them as a contact, which is like friending people, and we need more friends. And that's going to be under the profile, and we're going to review that in the profile tutorial. You can, if it's allowed, you can send them an email, which just goes directly to their email box, not their private message box. Sometimes you do have the option to have it so people cannot send you private emails. View articles, view blog entries, or you can click on this and view all of their posts in the forum. You can go and see when they last posted in the forum. So you can private message them from here, but in Hummy's World I've also set up these three links up here. And so if you wanted to private message somebody, you could also just click on Send PM right here, and it's going to bring up that compose box as well. So you got three places where you can send people private messages. Pretty cool, huh? Let's go back over here to our settings area and scroll on down. The next one, it says subscriptions. Now I don't have any subscriptions because I read every thread in the forum, but this is not the same subscriptions as this up here, where you subscribe and pay $5.50 a month. This is something that is in every um, forum, where you can subscribe to threads. What it means to subscribe to a thread, let's just go do it. I'm going to subscribe to this acknowledgement thread, and I'm going to go to Thread Tools and click Subscribe to Thread, and it's going to come up and give me some options. You'll see, you're familiar now, we're in the settings area. It's going to come up with some options that I can, if I want to know instantly when somebody posts to that particular thread, I can get that by email. So I'll get an email and it'll have a link right back to the thread, and it will let me know exactly when somebody has posted to that thread. You can get daily updates on that thread, so if that's a real active thread, you might want daily or even weekly. Through control panel only is great for those people that visit the sites often, or maybe it's just a thread that you want to find again later. So I'm going to do through control panel only, and you can choose a folder, but I don't have any folder. That's where this edit folders comes in play. And I'm going to click add subscription. Your subscription for this thread has been added, and I'm redirected right back to that forum thread, the same one where I was before. So let's refresh this page. Now I chose the one where I want to be notified through the control panel only. Here it is. If I ever want to find that thread again, I can come right here, click on subscriptions, and see that thread. And you're also going to be able to tell the difference between the ones that have new posts in them and the ones that do not have new posts in them. So that's what subscribing to threads means. Now, if you want to unsubscribe from a thread, let's say you're tired of getting all those emails on that thread, it became much more active than you thought it was going to be. You could click on this, then click on selected threads, and you can delete the subscription or change it so it's only through your control panel or instantly by email or whatever. I'm going to delete it because I really don't want it. And so I chose delete, and I'm going to click go. And now I'm no longer subscribed and will no longer get messages or notifications on that new thread. So that's what the My Subscriptions are. Not the same as the subscription, the paid subscription. Your next section is the My Settings area. And this is where you can edit your profile. You can change your password. This is the important thing for your birthday. If you want your birthday to show up on the calendar on the main page of the site when it's your birthday, you're going to want to, you don't want to have this on hide, but you can choose to, the best one is only day and month. You don't necessarily want to display your full birth date and your age. Most people don't want their age there. But just to display the day and the month is good. That's what most people choose. What digital scrapbooking program you use, and this will be important when we get to the profile in the next video. But you can put your home page, if you have any instant messaging, where you live. I don't have this filled out very well. Put your job and interests. Let people know a little bit about yourself. Now, there is a difference between a profile picture and an avatar. Why, I don't know. I think it's kind of silly. But I don't have a profile picture set. So let's go ahead. We're going to browse, and I have on my desktop an avatar that I've created, and you can see the avatar has to be 100 by 100 pixels or 64 KB or less, and there it is. So I'm not sure why I didn't have this, but your profile picture will show up on your profile, and it's also going to show up under, let's see, community member list, and in other things like your friends and contacts and things like that. See, this actually I have it set so it doesn't show up here because it was so confusing. So the profile picture is not as important as the avatar. So the avatar is what shows up here in the forum. And so to change your avatar, you have to create an image that's 150 by, I actually allowed this, I changed the settings so it could be larger. 150 by 150 pixels or 19.5 KB or smaller. Right now we have a flip-flop theme going on, so I have a flip-flop avatar up, and I encourage people to have fun and change their avatar a lot around here. So I use this one a lot. It's kind of my default one I go back to. And I can browse to it, find it, and upload it. And now my avatar is changed. So when you go back out to the posts in the forum, it will be this one. Just a little bit about me, little upside down head thing. This has a meaning behind it, and no, it's not that I'm dizzy or sad or upset or crazed for the day. When my boys were in Scouts, they had a theme in Boy Scouts, or they still have a theme in Boy Scouts that says to do a good turn daily. In other words, do something good for somebody every day. And so I decided to turn my avatar upside down to remind me that I'm supposed to do something good for somebody today. And so every time you see my avatar upside down, hopefully that will remind you to do something good for somebody that day. Now the next section is edit signature. And this is where you can go in here and you're allowed pretty much, except for blinkies and a lot of graphics and things, you're allowed to do almost anything with it in the rules here in Hummy's World. And so go ahead, link us up in your signature with where your blog is, where your store is, or just anything you want to tell us. You see, I always change mine from time to time to have some kind of little quip on mine. You can use the blinkies in your signature line. So you just go in here and change it like you would anything else and hit save. And there's profile privacy. Edit your email and password. For time's sake, we're not going to get into too many of these, but let's go into the general settings. Most of you can't go into invisible mode. I think I have that turned off. I can do that as an admin. In other words, I can lurk in the form and you won't know I'm there. And here is where you can choose not to get those emails from other members. If you want people to only private message you and not send you an email, you can turn that off right here. Default thread subscription mode. What this is if when you post in a thread, if you have this set to instantly using email, which I believe is the default for the forum when you first sign up, then you are instantly, every time you post in a forum thread, you are instantly subscribed to it. I do this because I have it set up that way because a lot of people new to forum will come and they'll post in the welcome thread, or they will post elsewhere in the forum, and not being familiar with the way forums work, they never come back and don't know where to find their post again. But if they get an email from us, then they're reminded and will know where to come back. But you can change this. If you don't like getting an email for every thread that you post in, you can turn this to do not subscribe. Or you can do it through your control panel or whatever other options that you want. If you don't want people to private message you, you can turn that off. I have been tempted to do that many times. You can choose to get private messages from only me, admin area, or from everybody. You can choose to get an email every time somebody sends you a private message or not. You can choose to have a little pop-up every time you come online when you have a new private message. I have that turned off. And you can choose to save a copy of your sent items or not, because once you save them, then you got to go back in and delete them. Visitor messaging. This is something on the profile, which we will review later, but when we do the profile tutorial. But you will hear more about that later, but you can turn that off here. Now, when you're scrolling in the forum and you don't like all of these avatars and you don't like all of these signatures, which the signatures are, to me, when they have blinkies in them at the other sites, and sometimes have tons of blinkies and everything is like making my eyes go wacky. I can't stand it. So you can actually go in here and uncheck show signatures, show avatars, and they will turn them off. So when you scroll out here through the threads, you won't see the avatars or the signatures. You won't see all that blinking stuff if you don't want to. At Homie's World, though, I keep it all there together, but at some other sites I do have those signatures turned off. The thread display mode, not mold, I have it set on the way I like to read it, with the oldest first, newest at the bottom. You could reverse that if you want, or there's threaded or the hybrid option. You can play with those to see what they do. I've played with them before and didn't like them, but you might like them. And you can change your time zone in here, and I would suggest having this WYG editing mode. What that is when you click on, let's go down here, go advanced reply, and you have all of this stuff up here to choose from to make your replying easier, to make fancy. All of this stuff up here is this WYSIWYG. I have no idea what it stands for. Editing. So if you have this on a basic editor, you won't have all this fun stuff and easy stuff to make quoting and adding pictures easy. So it's best to leave that on here. Okay, let's go back up and review. We've got paid subscriptions here. This is the part where you can access and subscribe to the subscriber area. And you have to, when you click order, then you'll be prompted to go through PayPal. Managing your friends and contacts, we will review a little bit more of that through the profile tutorial. And moderation, you're not going to have that. Attachments, if you have any attachments to your that you've made to other posts, of course I get to see everybody's. But if you have any attachments, you can go in there and remove them if you want, because they will be all over the forum. So that's the basics of the settings area, and I welcome any questions if you have any questions. Oh, reputation. If you have your reputation turned on, which is somewhere, I thought it was in general settings, you can give each other reputations. Not many people do that. Let me find, here's Lori. See this little thing? It says she is on a distinguished road because she doesn't have too many reputations. It's been a while since we played with this. Now, I'm trying to do a Control F and it's not coming up. Oh, there it is, right there in the beginning. Show reputation or hide reputation. So if you have yours on show reputation, then people are going to be able to give you a reputation.